Welcome to Math Grade 4A and 4B. I am glad that we're back together for another math lesson. So yesterday we were learning about addition of decimals, and today we're learning about subtracting decimals. So it works the same way it always has for subtracting, except for there's a decimal in there. So all we have to do is make sure that we line up those decimals. So here's our first question, 73 4/10 minus 1 3/10. So when I line them up, I need to make sure that that decimal is on top of each other, and now I can just plain old subtract. 4 take away 3 is 1, decimal. 3 take away 1 is 2, and 7 take away nothing is 7. My answer is 72 1/10. So I'm going to ask you to pause and in a second, and you're going to do these 4 questions, and the instructions are subtract. So pause and figure them out. Okay, you're back. So I am going to subtract by just taking this last number and putting it underneath the front number so that they're lined up. So 4 take away 1 is 3, my decimal. 7 take away 2 is 5. So I hope that you got 5 3/10. I'm going to take my second number and just put it underneath my first number. 9 take away 5 is 4. Put my decimal. 6 take away 4 is 2. So my answer is 2 4/10. I'm going to put this one underneath here. Subtract. 5 take away 4 is 1. Decimal. 5 1/10. And our last question. 5 take away 2 is 3. 6 take away 3 is 3. So I hope that you got those all right and you remembered those decimals, otherwise your answer is 53. 7 take away 2 cannot be 53. So make sure that you got your decimals in there. Awesome, way to go. So now we are going to be doing subtracting where we need to do regrouping, where we'd have to do our borrowing from the row in front. So our first question is 53 2/10 minus 6 7/10. I've lined them up. 2 take away 7. If I have 2 candies, I cannot give you 7. So remember, we go to this number and we trade, and he's now going to become a 2, and he is going to become a 12. We take 1 from there, and we're moving it backwards, the opposite of what we did for adding. So now we have 12, take away 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is 5. My decimal. 2 take away 6 does not work, so I am going to cross this one out. It turns into 4, and now I'm going to put that 1 there, so he is a 12. 12 take away 6 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6 and 4 take away nothing is 4. So if I had 53 2/10 and I take away 6 7/10, I am left with 46 5/10. Here's another question. I've lined them up. Make sure my decimals are on top of each other. And when you write them, always make sure the big number's on the top. This is 44, that's 15. 44 is way bigger. And if you're going to put the small number on the top, you're going to be going into the negatives, which we do not do until grade 6. So always remember the large number on top. So I cannot do 3 minus 7, so I'm going to regroup with this guy, trade with him. So he's going to become a 3, and now he's a 13. So 13 take away 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6, dot, dot. 3 take away 5, does not work, so this becomes a 3. That becomes 13. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 8 fingers. 3 take away 1 is 2. So our answer is 28 6/10. So now you are going to have an opportunity to do some of these on your own. So I'd like you to copy them down, make sure that you put the decimals on top of each other and subtract, and I would like you to pause and do that. Okay, we're back. So I am going to take my back number and just put it underneath my front number so that I don't have to rewrite the whole question. So 1 take away 4 does not work. So 6 take away 4, that'd be 6, and that becomes an 11. 11 take away 4 is 7, decimal, and 6 take away 4 is 2. So So my answer is 7 and 2/10. I hope you got the same answer. I'm going to just put this number underneath here. 7 take away 9 does not work, so that becomes a 2. This becomes a 17. 17 take away 9 is 8 decimal, and 2 minus 2 is 0. And I'm going to tell you, you need to put that there because you need to remember to show everybody that you've got no whole numbers and only 8 parts. Okay, this one, I'm going to put it underneath there. I'm going to subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. Hey, that worked. I didn't have to trade. 4 take away 5, that doesn't work. So that will become a 2, and this will become a 14. 14 take away 5 is 9, and 2 take away nothing is 2. So my answer is 29 and 2/10. I hope that you've got all of those correct so far. Oh my goodness, look at this ginormous number. Okay, so I got 2 and 432 thousandths. Wow, they broke that into a lot of pieces. Yikes. And I have 2 and 941 thousandths. Okay, I'm just going to put it underneath here. All I have to do is subtract. Here I go. 2 take away 1 is 1. 3 take away 4 does not work. So that becomes a 3. This becomes a 13. 13 take away 4 is 9. 3 take away 9 does not work. So that's a 5. 13 take away 9 is 4 decimal. 5 take away 2 is 3. So there's my number. 3 and 491 thousandths. Yikes. Okay, I'm going to stick the numbers underneath here. Okay, 0 take away 5 does not work, so that becomes a 0, and this becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5 decimal, and I'm going to put my 0 there just so that I have no holes. So 1 minus a half is a half. Okay, here we go. We're going to put 2 and 4/10 underneath there. Okay, 1 take away 4 does not work. Ooh, I cannot take from a 10. But if I put those two together, I can do that. So that becomes an 11. 11 minus 4 is 7 decimal 7. So 10 and 1/10 minus 2 and 4/10 equals 7 and 7/10. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at this question and I'm seeing that this number has no decimal. What do I need to do? Remember what we did with adding? We need to turn this into a number with a decimal. So 3 is the same as 3 and 0/10. Now it has a decimal, which means that I can now line them up and subtract them. So here I have 3 and no tenths. Here I have 1 and 4/10. And now I can subtract them. 0 minus 4 I cannot do, so that becomes a 2. And this becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, and 2 minus 1 is 1, and don't forget my decimal. So if I have 3 and I'm going to take away 1 and 4/10, I'm left with 1 and 6/10. Okay, here we go. Got some more problems to do. This one has a decimal. This number does not have a decimal, so I'm going to stick it at the end and put the 0 behind it. Now I can do my subtracting. I'm going to change colors here. So I'm going to put my 14 and 6/10 in here, because that's my tens number, my ones and my tenths. There we go. And the 8 is a ones number, so I'm going to put it there, and I have 0/10. Oops. My answer's going to go out of the box. That's okay. I'm subtracting. 6 take away 0 is 6. Decimal 4 take away 8 doesn't work. So I have 14 take away 8 is 6. So my answer is 6 and 6/10. Oh, here's my number here that doesn't have a decimal, so I can put that behind there. I have no tens in this number. I have 7 ones and no tenths, and I have 2 ones and 3/10. Oh, I didn't write that in there properly. Sorry, guys, but it'll still work. Okay, 0 take away 3 does not work, so this becomes a 6, and this becomes a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7, my decimal. 6 minus 2 is 4. So I have 4 7/10. So now I want you to pause the video. Actually, you're going to do this and then you're going to come back for part 2 and I will show you the answers.